welcome to Sunday Socks, Fair Isle, take 2.
Alright, second verse just like the first. We're going to bring forward the needles that are staying and move backwards the needles that are leaving. On the ribber, we're going to bring forward the needles that we're going to rib with, and they should match. So we have 37 left, 36 right. This is take 2. We have 36 left and 35 right on the ribber. And now we're going to load up our gray yarn into our connecting arm. Our tension is at 0 and 0. And we are going to knit across. Everything looks good. I'm going to put in our ribber comb. Perfect. Last round, all I needed were 2 small weights, so I'm going to do that again. 2 small barrel weights. Moving my tension on the ribber to 3, tension on the main bed to 3. I'm going part button on the main bed going to the right and part button on the ribber going to the left. I'm now going to knit 3 rows, but I'm going to make sure that my stitch is free, and I got to make sure this one is clipped. Okay, now we're ready. Should be no mistakes. Everything looks good. Alright, resetting our row counter to zeros. Putting the main bed back into knit, ribbers back into knit. We are now going to knit 27 rows of ribbing. We are now going to transfer. I see we have issues again on this side of the bed. We're just going to go with them. Not sure what's going on. I'm sure I'll figure it out. Probably looping again. All of my issues appear to be on the left side of the bed today. I'm going to pause until I get these all transferred. Well, I almost forgot to unpause the video. There we go. They're all transferred. Lowering my ribber. Looks like I lost a stitch. So I'm going to save that and then we'll cut back. Okay, so now I'm going to reset my row counter to 0, 0, 0. I'm turning on my knitting machine. I'm taking my yarn out of the carriage. I'm going to put on the proper sinker plate. instead of the connecting arc. I am outside of the turn mark. I'm going to move my camera. Okay, you can see I'm outside of the turn mark. My machine is turned on. I'm going to KC1. I'm going to come back towards my work. I'm going to increase my tension to 6. I am putting my yarn into slot 1. And now I'm going to get ready to knit to the right. So here we go. Everything looks good. Looks great to me. Pressing MC, introducing my second color of yarn. I'm going to clip it. And I'm going to make sure that it stays in a reasonable spot. Deep breath. We have 37 rows of this knitting. So this was row 1. We are now going to continue. There's nothing special happening here. I'm going to pause the video. We'll come back when we are closer. Okay, I'm at row 31. 33, 34, 35, 36, and this should be 37. All right. My counter says I have 2 more rows to knit. That's a lie. I will start the heel now. So I'm putting my carriage into hold. 1 second. Okay, carriage is going into hold. Now, I'm moving stitches back that are not going to be knit in pattern. I am moving forward into hold, 1 right to 36 left. Okay, turning off patterning. Removing the colored yarn from the feeder and putting it off to the side. I'm now going to knit across. One change I'm going to do is I'm going to put my carriage down to tension 5. So tension 5, knitting across, under, forward. Resetting my row counter, I forgot. So that's to 1. Okay, for row 2, under and forward. So already trying to jump off. Under, forward. It's amazing how this is totally misbehaving. I'm going to put my claw weights on already. I'm just going to move these ones to D position that are on the edges because they don't seem to be staying on the needles. And that could be where I'm getting messed up. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Makes sense. Okay, this is row 13. Okay. Under, forward, move that one up. Under, forward, moving that one up. Under, forward, moving this one up. Under, forward, up. This is 17, this is row 18. Okay. Now, did I read that right? I have 9 needles in holding position on the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I should have 17 needles in working position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. No, I have 18. Why do I have 18? Repeat steps 9 and 10. Well, maybe I need one more row. Okay, so this time we're going to knit one more row, bringing this one forward. Okay, so with it on the left hand side, we will now start going backwards. Let's see what happens. I'm concentrating, so I'm going to be fairly quiet. I don't know. It looks wrong. To me, it looks like the wrong side has extra again. Now we have 2 left on the inside. I think. Maybe not. That one goes back. Oops. That one was too far forward. So we'll get that one off. Now we move this one back. Yeah, and now we have 1 extra on this side. So I don't know. I'm going to leave this one forward. We're going to knit across. I'm going to put this one underneath. I'm going to move this one back. And we're going to knit it again. I don't know what I'm doing wrong exactly, and it's driving me nuts. However, we are needing to restart our pattern. So I'm going to need to move all of the stitches from E position back to B position, and then move my carriage to the opposite side of the bed. I'm going to pause while I do that. Alright, for everybody following along, we are now taking our yarn out of our main bed carriage, taking off our sinker plate, put it to the side, remove your carriage, and move it to the opposite side of the bed. If you are using a punch card machine, you are going to switch punch cards. Now you're going to lock your carriage into KC or KC1, KC2, whichever you are using. You are now going to press both part buttons. Now you're going to move closer to your bed, well, closer to your needles. So your needles are all in B position. Your carriage is in part both ways. And you are now going to increase your tension to 6. And you're going to knit across 1 row. What you will see is needles pop out, which are the ones that are going to be knit in Fair Isle. You now put your sinker plate back on. Clear your carriage. Press MC. Insert yarn 1 into slot 1, insert yarn 2 into slot 2, and now you will knit 76 rows. So resetting our row counter to 000, taking a deep breath, and now we will knit all of those rows. So 76 rows, let's go. I'm not going to bore you with 76 rows. I'm going to pause this until we get closer. One of the things that I noticed as I've been working is that I probably don't have enough weight on the sides. So I'm moving a claw weight on to each side of the bed. And that might help our issue from the last sock. So let's continue. And I'm going to pause the video while I get those rows knit. Okay, only a few more rows to go. That's 75. Okay, one more is 76. This time it didn't beep. Don't know why. Don't care. We are still in hold. We're removing our carriage from patterning. We're going to move stitches left 1. Sorry. Left 36 to right 1 into hold. Now this one went a little bit too far forward, so I can't just push it back. But we are now going to start our patterning. I'm cutting my sock yarn. So color 2 has been cut. I'm removing it from the carriage. I'm clipping it. And now we are going to only knit with our gray yarn, which is getting caught on everything. How lovely. Try this again. And I caught it again. Deep breath. Okay. We're now going to knit across. Carriage is in hold, and then we will start our reductions. I'm resetting my row counter to see what we get this time. Okay. Sorry. Okay, it's extremely tight here on this side for some reason, and it just undid the stitch. I don't know why. It is weird. Okay, going under, bringing that forward. This one needs to come forward. You can see how it's insanely tight on the right side and insanely loose on the left side. Weird. Like, it's so tight that it just undid that stitch again. I'm going to go from behind. See if that's better. Okay, so that one went under, this one comes forward. Not sure what is going on. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we're at 15. Move the other one up. One, two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now that's 9. Knitting across. Okay, so that one, no more decreases on this side. And this says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I'm leaving it at 18 this time. We'll see what happens. Because this is 9, that's wrong. Going down. Doesn't matter how we do it, it seems to be wrong. So if we do this right, we should end up at 36. Okay, knitting across. And look at it this time, we got it perfect. Weird. That comes back down. Now we take it out of hold. We knit one row across, and then we remove it on waste yarn. And everything's knit off. Okay, I'm going to bring this forward. I'm going to cut this yarn this time, just like I did in the last video. 1, 2, 3. That's just enough so that we can seam it with the Kitchener stitch. And we'll have a little bit left over to do our seaming. Now I'm going to remove this on waste yarn and then we'll come back. Alright, so here we are, just going to latch tool the waste yarn and then we'll do the Kitchener stitch again. Could I just rip it off right now and put it back on the machine? Sure. But I prefer things to be secure in case I have an accident. So you got the idea? So this time, I'm going to do the Kitchener stitch in my lap. I don't think there's any videos where I don't drop at least something. So I have to find my yarn. Okay. And thread. What a long show. Alright, into stitch number 1. Find stitch number 1. Okay, yarn tails interfering. Okay, so where am I here? Okay, stitch number 1. Stitch number 1. Pull. Holding it steady. Fold that under again. Okay, we finally got it. Okay, find stitch number 2. Hang on, I have to find stitch number 2. So stitch number 2. My lord. What a gong show. Okay, so this is twisting in on itself. That's why I usually use the board, the bed. Okay, so that one is stitch number 2. And then back to stitch number 1. Okay, so tightening that up. Once you get past all of the yarn tails, it'll get easier. So, now we need to find stitch number 2 without going into the side seam. Okay, so this one's number 2 is right there, and that goes back into stitch number 2 on the other side. It doesn't even matter where I hold my yarn. It'll get stuck on the gate pegs or the needle butts. Tighten it up. Come back through. The key is to keep your patterning and to not grab your waste yarn. You're basically marching. And that's the Kitchener stitch. We'll come back when I'm further along. Alright. So into that one, back to that one. And I have to move forward one, back to the original. Forward on that one, back to that one. Forward there, back to there. Forward, back, forward, back, forward, back. This is going to get really, really hard, but you got to concentrate. Forward, back. Give a little tug. Going forward one stitch. Back. Forward, back. Okay, another hard spot. Gotta roll it up a little bit. Take that stitch out. And put it back into the stitch you just came from. Okay. Now you gotta dig up the next stitch. Pop it into the previous stitch. Come back. Now this is where most of my drops happen, because I don't see those last couple stitches, so you gotta be very careful. And back. There's still more in here. Gotta dig it out. Okay. And into this one. There's still another one. Dig it up. Okay. Into this one. It's going to be really hard. Gotta dig out that waste yarn. Still copper waste yarn. Okay, I'm having a hard time isolating that one stitch. I think I got it this time. Okay, that stitch is now isolated. Back into this one. Holding it still. Okay. I'm in. Back to there. I don't think there's another one. I think we're okay. Seems to be okay. I'm now going to go right back into that same stitch I was before, trying to avoid the waste yarn. You can feel when you have the waste yarn. Okay. Looks right. I'm just going to tighten these up a little bit. Now I'm going to cast it off. Best way to cast it off, go into the loops. As you can see, I grabbed waste yarn again. Try not to grab waste yarn, otherwise you'll have a hard time getting the waste yarn off. Okay, at least 5. Coming back. Going this way. Remember, you just skip the end one, come back through. And then one more time for good measure. Stab another one. And that's it. We're now done this part of our knitting for the day. I'm going to graft the edge. And then we'll, we'll come back and see what they look like. So there's sock 1. And sock number 2. I guess that's the toe part. Okay, sock 1 and 2. The seams are on the same side. I don't really care. It's about knitting this sock, not about being perfect. So, we will be back later with these all grafted.
Well, I got 2 socks. I'm pretty happy about that.